I want you to think about what trust looks like when it lives inside your own house. And the person who opens the door in the morning when you leave for work, the person who feeds your children lunch, the person who knows your alarm code, your children's routines, your husband's schedule, the layout of every room. I gave all of that to a woman named Claire. I hired her through an agency 8 months before everything fell apart. Background checked, references verified, 2 interviews, a trial week. She was warm with my children, patient, reliable, exactly what I needed. My daughter called her Miss Claire. My son drew her a picture for her birthday. I bought her a gift card at Christmas because I was grateful. I was genuinely, completely grateful. On a Tuesday in March, I came home 2 hours earlier than expected. A meeting had been canceled. I texted no one. I just drove home. I parked in the driveway, unlocked the front door. The house was quiet in the way houses are quiet in the middle of the day, and that specific familiar silence. I set my bag down in the kitchen, and then I heard something. I stood completely still, and I understood, not slowly, not with confusion, immediately and completely, what I was hearing. I did not go upstairs. I sat down at my kitchen table, the same table where I had eaten breakfast that morning, where my children ate their cereal every day, where Miss Claire sat with them and helped with homework and laughed at their jokes. I sat at that table for 3 hours. I did not cry. I did not call anyone. I made a plan. By Friday, they had both lost everything. Stay with me. My husband's name was Daniel. We had been married for 9 years. 2 children, 7 and 4. A house I had chosen, decorated, made into a home. A life that looked from the outside exactly like what I had wanted. Danielle was charming, professionally successful, good at the performance of being a good husband. The anniversaries remembered, the flowers occasionally, the compliments in front of friends. What he was less good at was the substance of it, the actual presence, the being there in ways that didn't have an audience. I had noticed the distance increasing over the previous year. I had attributed it to work stress, to the stage of life we were in, 2 young children, busy careers, the particular exhaustion of that season. I had not attributed it to Miss Claire. She had been in our home for 8 months. I calculated later, after everything, that the affair had started approximately 6 weeks after I hired her. 6 weeks while I was at work, while my children were in her care, while I was paying her salary with money I had earned in an office 20 minutes away. I sat at that kitchen table for 3 hours. At some point, the sounds upstairs stopped. I heard movement. A door, footsteps. Miss Claire appeared in the kitchen doorway. She saw me. I watched her face go through 5 expressions in approximately 2 seconds. Confusion, recognition, horror, calculation, collapse. I said, "Where are the children?" She said, and her voice was completely unsteady, "At the neighbors, a play date, until 4. I said, "You should get your things." She stood in that doorway for a moment, then she said, "I'm so sorry." I said, "Your things?" Now. She got her things. She left. Daniel appeared 12 minutes later. He had clearly dressed quickly. His expression when he saw me was the expression of a man who has run out of explanations before he has finished thinking of them. He said, "I can explain." I said, "I know what I heard. I've been sitting here for 3 hours. I don't need an explanation. I need you to go stay somewhere else tonight." He said, "We should talk." I said, "We will, with lawyers present." He left. I picked my children up from the neighbors at 4. I made them dinner. I gave them baths. I read them stories. I kissed them goodnight. Then I sat down at the kitchen table again and I finished making the plan. I called my sister that night, not for emotional support, although she provided that too, but because she was a family law attorney. She had been practicing for 14 years. She had seen, she told me, almost every configuration of this situation. She had not seen this exact one. The nanny, the house, the 3 hours at the table, but she had seen enough to know exactly what I needed to do and in what order. We talked for 2 hours. The next morning, Wednesday, I did the following. I opened a personal bank account, transferred 3 months of living expenses. I photographed every financial document in the house, accounts, investments, property records, backed them up externally. I called the nanny agency. I explained what had happened. I was calm, factual. The agency terminated Claire's registration and flagged her file. She would not be placed in another family's home through that agency again. I called Daniel's employer not to report him, to update the emergency contact on file to my sister's number instead of his mother's. A small administrative change that would matter later. Thursday, I met with my sister formally. We filed preliminary paperwork. Friday morning, Daniel received formal notice that divorce proceedings had been initiated. Friday afternoon, Claire received a letter from my attorney regarding a civil claim for breach of duty of care and violation of her employment contract, which contained an explicit conduct clause she had signed. By Friday evening, Daniel was living in a hotel. Claire was unemployed and facing legal action. And I was sitting at my kitchen table, the same table, and therefore with a glass of wine and the specific quiet of someone who has done what needed to be done. The divorce took 8 months. I will not detail the settlement publicly. What I will say is that 9 years of marriage and 2 children produce a legal situation that is considerably more consequential than a Tuesday afternoon in March. Daniel lost the house. I kept it for the children's stability, which the court agreed was the priority. He sees the children on the agreed schedule. He is, to his credit, consistent with that. Whatever he was as a husband, he is trying to be better as a father. I give him that. Claire settled the civil claim. The amount was not significant in dollar terms. The significance was the acknowledgement in writing signed of a fee summons of what she had done and where. She is no longer working as a nanny. I know this because the agency confirmed it. I did not engineer that outcome. It followed naturally from what she had done in a home where she was trusted. The last thing I want to say about all of it is this. The 3 hours I spent at that kitchen table were the most important 3 hours of my life. Not because of what I decided, because of what I chose not to do. I chose not to go upstairs. I chose not to make a scene. I chose not to act from the rawest version of what I was feeling. I chose to sit, to breathe, to think, and everything that followed, every good outcome in an impossibly hard situation came from those 3 hours of sitting still. New story every day. Subscribe so you never miss one. Just wait.